Hello, Young Turks. Here's another quick movement tutorial. So I'm in turn 1 of Reluctant Enemies. What I want to do is move this stack to here, and I want to do an overrun attack against this stack here. I want to stay in combat movement because I'm not moving very far, so I want to keep... If you've seen any of the other tutorials, you'll know that if you flip a unit over to its other side, there's 2 units together there, you'll see that there is a higher movement rating, so that's this 10 here, as opposed to this 5 here. But the combat rating drops from a 5 to a 3. Well, here I only want to move 1 space, then spend the 3 movement points to attack this unit here. At least I think that's a good idea. It might be a dumb idea, but anyway. So we're going to move. We're moving down a track which costs 1 movement point. So that's 1 movement point for that unit. The artillery isn't going to move. The artillery isn't going to move. 1 movement point for that unit, but they won't be able to attack. So I actually will have to flip that unit over to its movement side. So 1 movement point for that unit. 1 movement point for that unit. And this infantry unit's also going to have to flip over. So they've all moved, leaving these 2 artillery units behind. Okay, I now want to spend 3 movement points, which they've all got left, just about. That's got 4 movement points left, and it's got the least movement points, to attack this unit here. I need to check combat supply and spend the token to attack. Luckily, there's a whole bunch of supply up here, underneath this stack. So we've got 5 supply tokens in Savad. And this HQ here can throw supply 8 hexes. Or not 8 hexes, 8 movement points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? So I can throw my supply from here to here. I'm just going to check how much supply I need. So the supply cost for the attack is 1 token per attacking step. Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 attacking steps, because these are all 1-step units. And it's 2 tokens for the whole defending stack. So I need to pay that for both sides. Well, the French can pay it out from beneath them, so that goes. They could potentially spend internal stocks, but they have tokens available, and I'll change that later after the fight, I think. So next we've got to work out the combat odds and the action ratings. This number in the middle is called an action rating. This French cavalry have an action rating of 3. I will pick this cavalry unit to be my lead unit, and it's got an action rating of 4. So that will give me a 1 action rating advantage. Other than that, my combat values are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14 against 2. 14 divided by 2 gives me a 7 to 1. So let's look at the combat results section. Just knocking my chits everywhere with my paperwork. Problem of having a small table. Okay then. Combat sequence. The attacker identifies the defending attacking hexes. Done. Both players spend their supply points. Done. The action ratings are identified. Done. The defender announces his terrain choices, and the player determines initial odds. Alright, this is a bit interesting. They can pick whatever they want in the hex, or they can pick the border. There's nothing on the border here, it's just a normal border. So it's going to be hills. Okay, so they're going to be fighting in a hill terrain. So we look at the terrain effects chart, just here, and we're in hills, which counts as very close terrain, and they half the combat value of armour, half the combat value of mechanised infantry, but 1 of other. So actually, going back to my combat values, that's mechanised. So it drops to 1.5 from 3. That's also mechanised, so it drops to 1. So I actually have 9, 10, 11.5 divided by 2, which gives me a total of 5.75 to 1. So we're in very close terrain, and we are not quite 6 to 1, or at 4 to 1. Right then, using each side's action unit modifier to determine the dice roll modifier. That is 1 in this case. The French have an action rating of 3, the Commonwealth 4. Roll 2 dice to determine surprise. 2 nice big casino dice. 9. Now I'll be adding 1 to make it 10. This is an overrun attack. If 9 or more, attacker gains surprise. Well, they have 9, so they've gained surprised. And they have 10, including their action rating addition. So I roll a die, and we're going to get 3 column shifts to the attacker's benefit. So we were here. 1, 2, 3. 12 to 1. And then we're going to roll the dice, and we're going to add +1 to the die roll, because we have +1 on the action rating comparison. 10. This could be an obliteration. So we add 1 to that, so we got 11. To give AE4 DL 102. What does that mean? Well, the D means defender, A means attacker. E4, I think, means 4 units get to go into exploitation. Which means they'll get to go again in the exploitation move and attack phase. Although I don't know if you get exploitation off and over an attack, but it doesn't matter. DL means defender, L means lose, they lose 1 step. Well, that's the end of it, because they only have 1 step. So he's gone. You can take ground, advance after combat, and that is a combat.